Hey everyone, it's another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Oh my goodness. We are so excited that you are here joining us on this wonderful last Tuesday of August. I can't believe August is wrapping up so quickly. And of course, kids are back in school. Some have traveled to school, which has been fun to see. And of course, it's time for some movie reviews and TV reviews. So I'm excited. It's another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Man, oh man, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. Go ahead, let somebody know that you're here and you're having a good time here with ValTheVoiceJohnson. Oh my gosh. Well, let's get to traveling and see what's going on. We'll be right back after this. Hey everyone. Oh my goodness. This is such a good time. Another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Yep. Running solo tonight. I know you guys are like, hey, where's Coach? Coach is traveling, doing what he does best, living his best life overseas and having a good time. And of course, we kind of wanted to give him a break any old way because he had such a good time last week with our Pull Up Podcast Appreciation Show. Man, oh man, he is still talking about that. I don't know about you, but he is still talking about that. So we are just doing our thing and having a good old time. Man, oh man, I'm telling you. But like I said, this is Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. And my goodness, let's get to going. I have loved the relationship that we have with KeySpot. They are an app. They are a business and they are people that help you network. If you have a small business, please tap in with KeySpot. Share, connect, and grow. Come on, guys. That's easy to do. And of course, we are one of the affiliate partners with KeySpot. Cynthia McAllister, she's such a talented woman out of Ohio. And of course, we support her and she supports the Interludes podcast and its affiliates. Oh my goodness, which is wonderful. And of course, I got a chance to write this book with Monique Lisa Johnson. She trained me through the entire process, but it's called A DJ Saved My Life. I am so grateful that you guys, for all who have, number one, purchased the book, went ahead and said, you know what, Val, we're going to support you 100%. And I was like, thank you for that. I appreciate you. You already got a book. I appreciate you doing so. And of course, this directly supports the Interludes podcast, which is wonderful. I see Mr. Springer is already in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. And of course, King Wise is in the chat. I had a good time on his platform a couple of weeks ago. Wise going live at 5. He says, dropping fire. That's fun. And I see Queen Tina Michelle, one of our former guests and friend to the show. She says she's here, accounted for. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. Springer, for placing it in the chat about KeySpot. And of course, get your copy of A DJ Saved My Life. And of course, you can scan the QR code, which is right there. Oh my goodness. And of course, last but not least, our Patreon community. Join us on patreon.com/interludes. It's Interludes Extra Presents Find Your Voice. Information about starting your podcast. And of course, I'm now uploading the ABCs of podcasting, which is in the ebook of A DJ Saved My Life. So really excited about that. Oh my goodness. Well, like I said, Coach Tony is traveling. We'll see him again soon. Like I said, he's doing his thing and we're excited about that. I wanted to let you guys know that August is National Black Business Month. And all this month on a different platform, I've been celebrating. I had a really good interview earlier today with Michael Munford. And of course, he has a wonderful book, the Look Again Challenge, financial challenge. And of course, we got a chance to ask him some questions on the platform and had a really good time. But of course, highlighting Black businesses is just important, especially during the month of August. So we're wrapping up our look at Black businesses and, of course, businesses of color. So I like supporting businesses of color via the films and, of course, whatever the TV shows are. But of course, man, oh man, I found out in Chicago that the Adler Planetarium has a free night on Wednesdays. So this is my friend Rachel from Brooklyn. She was here visiting, and we went to the Adler Planetarium and had a good time. I made a solar eclipse. You guys don't laugh at me. My little son, a block by the eclipse. It looks really good. Chalk in a circle. That's what I did. I'm so proud of what I did. But over the weekend, I got a chance to hang out with my dear friend Princess. We were celebrating my mom. Went out to have brunch and just had a good time. I went to a brunch place not too far away in kind of the suburbs of Chicago, and Princess really liked her. I think that was French toast and I don't know. That looks like a bunch of strawberries. I got a chance to get some of the strawberries, but we got a chance to visit the gravesite of my mom, and of course, just having her there with me was really, really calming and everything. So I major thanks to you, Princess, for hanging out with me this weekend. It was just a tough weekend for myself because the 24th of this month marks 5 years since my mom has transitioned. So that's what is going on with that. Oh my goodness. So I got two things I want to review for tonight. I don't know if you guys are fans of Hulu or if you watch the platform. I always go back and forth, Netflix, Hulu, Netflix, sometimes Amazon Prime, but I like the series that show up on both platforms. I got a chance to see some things. Have you guys attended the Essence Music Festival? I think a couple of years ago, they introduced a couple of new shows that would be coming to Hulu that would be a part of the Onyx Collective. And I didn't quite understand what that meant, but it was kind of this productions that would have and highlight people of color and be in series. So it's a home run when you get someone that was a part of a very popular show, Scandal, to create and executive produce a show called Reasonable Doubt. Man, oh man, I got a chance to check out the first season of Reasonable Doubt, and I really enjoyed it. I love the lead actress, and I'm going to make sure that I look over here and pronounce her name right. I practiced this like 5 or 6 times today. Here we go. Emma Yazzie. I had it. Emma Yazzie Coordinati. That's it. Coordinati. That's it. Her father is Panamanian and her mom is from Ohio. And so I just thought, number one, I saw her in a film from Ava DuVernay years ago. But when I saw that she was going to be heading up the cast of Reasonable Doubt, I thought this was really good. Now, last season, they had Sean Patrick Thomas and Michael Ealy. But now they've decided to add, and that's the main cast that's there. But now they decide to add to the mix Morris Chestnut. And of course, I'm thinking, all right, everybody loves a little dark chocolate, I guess, with the side of whatever you're eating. And of course, she plays an attorney in Los Angeles, but a lot of her life, friends, and that marriage that seems to be on the rocks, off the rocks, on the rocks, it's just back and forth. Which I really enjoyed. And of course, what a phenomenal cast that surrounds her in this. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen Reasonable Doubt, now let me do this disclaimer. Reasonable Doubt is a series not for the youngins. I think you need to be way over a certain time because the language is a little rough as per usual. But there's something about the use of music in this series, and I think that has a lot to do with the music director. Well, he was the music director of the first season, Raphael Sadiq. But along with Emma is McKinney Freeman. I remember him for a couple of series that he's done. Angela Grovey, Thaddeus J. Mixon that plays Jack Stewart's son, because Emma is playing Jack Stewart, and Shannon Kane, who plays Chanel Tucker. Now, the series is going to be surrounding what has happened with her and her husband, recently departed husband. Looks like what's happening now, they're releasing an episode every week. So I saw 2 episodes that premiered last week, and I think they're going to be slowly rolling it out. Reasonable Doubt has only gone maybe 8 to 10 episodes per season, and I think they're going to do the same thing here as well. Oh, let me not blast past that. Guess who's going to be guest starring this season? Candace Burris, who you guys know her from Escape and from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she's getting her acting chops on with Emma and also Morris. And then, of course, I want to mention that I think now this is a young lady that who created the show, Ramala Muhammad. I think it's her birthday today. I looked her up. I think her birthday is August 27th. Happy birthday, Emma. That's on the other side of that because she was a writer for Scandal. And I think she also was a writer and producer for Little Fires Everywhere. So her and Kerry Washington, they like playing together. So I've noticed that when anyone in Hollywood, if they find people that they like to dance with, and I say dance because it's a dance doing a film or putting together a television show, you kind of just like to work with the same people. And looks like so far, because Morris has been, and he was in the first 2 episodes of the second season, looks like he's getting along really, really, really well. So like I said, this is a good looking cast, not for the young people. Don't blame me. Valerie, why you recommend this series? I recommended it because I like it. It's drama. I like drama. Oh my gosh. And thank you so very much for that, Mr. Springer. Yes, very much so. So this is streaming now on Hulu. And of course, rolling out for the next couple of weeks, only 1 or 2 episodes, 1 or 2 episodes a week. So I'm enjoying this. This is kind of the great way to kick off the fall season. And just because, unfortunately, there was a strike that happened with the writers and actors, a lot of things are rolling out later than normal. A lot of I call it the main networks, ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC, a lot of their shows won't be coming out until the middle to late September or the mid part of October. I'm like, that's a little late, but I have to think about it. Writers were on strike, actors were on strike. So if you guys have any interest in seeing Reasonable Doubt, let me know. It'd be good to hear what you guys think about that. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, the main course of tonight is going to be talking about the film TheForge. But before we do that, I'm going to take a break. You guys join us and stay tuned. Let somebody know you're here. This is Interludes Extra presents Talk on Tuesdays, and the Interludes podcast is coming back strong visually. We'll see you in a moment. Harry Lennox is from Chicago. Okay, Leon.
And it was like a really big deal back in the 90s. And even if you remember, what is his name? He played on the 5 Heartbeats.
Harry Lennox is from Chicago. Okay, Leon.
If I say his name, you'll know. That's it, Robert. Yep. He came to one of our shows because his mom was an avid Awakening watcher.
Wow.
And he loved the show, and we filmed him sharing his thoughts about the awakening on one of our broadcasts.
Robert Townsend liked the awakening. Let's go. His mama did.
His mama loved it. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, like I said, this is going to be very encouraging to a lot of my audience that do dramatic acting, or there's always an arts ministry that's happening in a church, something that stood the test of time and then went on to win a Stellar Award and 2 Emmys. That's really amazing. Man, oh man, oh man. Welcome back. My audio podcast, the Interludes podcast, has been a little bit on of a hiatus, and I am so grateful that it is officially back. I know you guys were like, you went on a break? Yes, so I'll be back with the Interludes podcast. And like I said, I am so grateful that I got a chance to talk with Tracy Brooks. She is a Chicago-based actress that was a part of a show called The Awakening. And this ran in the 90s from, I guess, 1991 to like 97. And it won a couple of Stellar Awards for the theme song, as well as 2 Emmy Awards. And Robert Townsend, as you saw in the clip, was one of the folks. His mom loved the series, which was a Christian-based series. So I talked with Tracy, and it was a really good conversation that we had. And of course, man, oh man, we're just really excited that we got a chance to chit-chat. So the Legacy and Spotlight, a conversation with Tracy Brooks. That is the latest audio podcast, and we're back. And we're kicking off our 9th season with one of our avid supporters and podcasting comrade of mine, Jay Mullane, also known as Wise. TheForge, you guys, this film, have you seen it? I need to hear you all talking in the chat. I told some folks that I was going to review the film because I officially checked it out yesterday. I went to the theaters and was like, let me get my little notes together. In fact, let me grab my cell phone and grab my notes. Have you seen the movie TheForge? I literally had also I had a kind of a review of some of the music in a chat room on Clubhouse with the Interludes Clubhouse app. What we did, we kind of talked about some of the music that was being played during the film, and of course I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to just kind of share about it. But of course I reached out to the PR folks of TheForge and the Kendrick Brothers and said, hey, I want to be able to promote the film, and they were like, sure. And they sent stuff over, and I was like, okay, great. You gotta make sure that happens. Quick question. Have you heard of the word discipleship? I think when I was at my old church, and no diss to my old church, I remember reading the word discipleship or disciples. I did read that, the 12 disciples of Jesus. You kind of learned that in like Sunday school back in the day. But discipleship was something I didn't learn until I transitioned to a church in Brooklyn, the New York City Church of Christ. And we talked about discipleship, which is something I think a lot of people don't understand. The great thing about the Great Commission, people have heard of that. That's Matthew 28. This entire film deals with those two situations. At the very end of the film, this popped up. This says the Kingdom Builders. And I'm like, what's the Kingdom Builder? What is that? A ticket gifting program. So what you do is that you take your phone, you put it up to the screen, and you can buy a ticket or 2 or 10 for folks to check out this movie. Because I'm telling you, back in the days, movies that were Christian based weren't that great. They were okay. But there is something special about what the Kendrick brothers have done over the last, I want to say 5, 6, 7 films that they have produced. We at my old church did, like, I think it was either Courageous and War Room, but they really emphasized, I think, the married ministry. But I want to make sure that I talk about this. I haven't seen a lot of films talk about discipleship or going out and either making disciples or mentoring. And to see this type of mentoring in this film was just really heartwarming. I really have to say that. The one thing in this scene right here, and let me make sure that I get it all together right. I want to make sure that I have the synopsis right. But definitely this film and what we talk about. So just imagine you are a single mom raising a young man. He is 18, 19 years old. He's living in your home. He's playing video games. He's eating up your cereal and all your food, and he's not doing anything to contribute. He's not going to college. He has no interest in it. You're asking him to come to church. He has no interest in it. There's a lot of people who are single parents, moms and dads, but you want to do something where you want to inspire your children to do and be more. You could tell your children to do something, but it's something about hearing it from somewhere else that influence comes in. And I did that with my mom too. She told me some things that I didn't pay attention to until it was someone I admired or was mentored by. And then I started following that. My mom's like, I told you that 5 years ago. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Isaiah Wright, that's the name of the main character. He's there in the center of this particular scene. He's young and having fun on video games and doing other stuff, and he just didn't have any plans for his future. But through prayer and also a prayer warrior named Miss Clara, as well as biblical discipleship from his new mentor, Isaiah begins to discover God's purpose for his life is so much more than he could ever hope for or imagine. That sounds like Ephesians 3:20 to me, if this is about to go real biblical now. And the Kendrick brothers, they're the ones that came out with War Room, which was one of my favorite films. I ever so often like to rewatch it just to remind me prayer is powerful. Don't underestimate the power of prayer. Never underestimate the power of prayer. And of course, TheForge, which is, they consider it a faith-filled new movie with familiar friends and inspiring new twist. I don't want to give the movie away, but all I can say is that it's always good to hear from the folks that participated in it. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. Springer, for putting that in the chat. Has anyone seen the film TheForge? It's really, really cool. What I wanted to do, based on some of the things that they shared with us, is kind of just talk the actors as well as Alex Kendrick, who produced and directed this film, talk about what is behind the heart of the film, TheForge. I want you guys to take a look at this.
Mostly because I know whatever.
Raise them up, Lord, raise them up.
We made 7 feature films. We're praying about the 8th, and the Lord says, bring it back here to Albany, Georgia. And it's like, all right, here we go. Let's see what God does.
I always enjoy working with the Kendrick brothers, mostly because I know whatever's finna happen is gonna be an adventure.
T-Mark. And action all around.
TheForge is a story that follows a young man.
He has talents and gifts and abilities.
Where are you going?
He's gotten out of high school, but he doesn't have clear direction for his life.
Joe, you got 2 guys coming in.
I see him.
Yo, Jamal, where you at?
I'm just trying to figure out how to balance helping him know I understand him, but still pushing him to become an adult.
You on the right track, girl. He's got to step up and step out, because you can step in and speak up about him not stepping up, but you don't want to overstep the main step of loving him.
And you see this older man, Joshua Moore, step into his life.
Whoa. I want to ask you a few questions first. What kind of man do you want to be? And what do you want people to think when they see you coming?
Training starts on Monday. Please be on time.
Joshua is first mentoring Isaiah.
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Joshua then says, "This is the reason I live according to these truths."
You've got this. I'm going to let you run with it. I know what it's like to be angry.
In Luke chapter 9, Jesus says something that's pretty startling. He says to the people around him, "If anyone wants to be my disciple, he must deny himself."
Take up their cross daily and follow me.
Take up your cross daily. What does that mean?
That means something's going to die.
This is what discipleship is. It's when someone opens their life up to another person and says, come and walk with me.
Come sit in my home. Come watch how I treat my wife.
Let me show you what Christ is teaching me. Let me show you how I'm growing.
Let me show you how I pray to God.
The mistakes that I've made that I can be honest and vulnerable about.
How I reconcile with people who I've wronged. It exponentially increases their ability to learn because they're right there with us.
When we follow Jesus, he bears fruit through us. That's the kind of man I want to be.
I ain't never seen nothing like this.
The message of prayer that was featured in War Room is interwoven in TheForge.
Karen played the role of Miss Clara in War Room.
My God is good.
And she resumes that role playing Miss Clara in TheForge.
Am I in the right place?
Miss Clara, yes you are.
The women in War Room that pray for each other and invest in the younger generation
You've got to teach other people to seek the Lord.
matches up to the men of TheForge praying together, keeping each other accountable, investing in the younger generation.
I want to introduce you to a small group of men that mean the world to me. In the midst of TheForge, you get to see men that have been forged, now imparting it to another group that are younger men. This is a good day.
We grow together, we eat together. It's one of the most important things I've ever done in my life.
I believe the church right now in this generation needs to get back to what Jesus did with his disciples.
The body of Christ, the bride of Christ, is supposed to be about turning all of our attention, our ambitions, our focus, fixing our eyes on Jesus.
We are devoted to Jesus, and we will do anything he calls us to do.
I pray for you that you not be one in a million, but one of a million. We need more believers who are wholeheartedly following Jesus. Isaiah, welcome to TheForge.
Man. Woo. So I want to make sure that you heard it from the actors and creators of the film TheForge, and definitely thank you so much for that, Kevin. He said powerful trailer, kind of more of a behind the scenes. I'm a big person that loves the behind the scenes situations, and definitely just making sure that we understand what that is. Like, I didn't really understand what discipleship was until I started to actively see it in my church. And that is mentorship. It's something that should happen between, the younger generation and the older generation and the younger generation. Like those things should bridge together. My own experience in discipleship has been definitely musical. I was always a person that loved choral singing. And in my own church, I found myself mentoring younger women who love to sing. But then I had to always think about what was our focus. Like, Are we singing to be seen, or are we singing to give praise to God? Like, that is something that you think, is that something you think about, or is that something that you just do? So with TheForge and some of these excellent actors that are in front of the camera and doing what they do here. And I think Alex and why am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Alex and Steven chose very, very well. Their Isaiah is a new actor named Aspen Kennedy. This gentleman right here that you're looking at, that's Cameron Arnett. He has been in several films with the Kendrick Brothers, and that seems to be his jam to do. I like to call it Christian films. But I think for this being a first time out for Aspen Kennedy, he did a really good job in portraying Isaiah. I feel like those were real tears in some of the scenes. I found myself kind of being reminded of why I decided to follow God in the first place, if that makes any sense to anyone, and kind of that commission, the commission of Matthew 28, to say that Jesus tells his disciples to go out and make disciples, to follow everything that you do. For Isaiah's character, it was told to him by his mom, go and get a job, and then to be a person of your word. Like, these were the things that she was trying to teach him, and he was not practicing and getting. And then one of the things that comes up in the film, later in the film, we find out that there isn't really a good relationship between Isaiah and his father. And of course, how that's dealt with in the film is very, very, I want to call it careful, but dealing with the unforgiveness. And when you make Jesus Lord of your life, when you get baptized and you make Jesus Lord of your life, unforgiveness, things that were kind of a part of your sinful nature, you got to put it to the side. I saw all of this in this film. It's like I went back to Bible 101 with TheForge. And like I said, I was looking for the video clip that I think it was Erica and Tina Campbell. They're married. That they're part of Mary. I was trying to find that clip to show them. I think Tina really had a powerful testimony after screening the film. And for films like this, it's just important that we support it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, because we want films like this to come out, and definitely to spread the gospel. Because here's the thing, there's so much other types of films or other types of things that come out, and it doesn't really promote anything. It's just there. I wanted to review the film The Union. I was interested in that because of Halle Berry, but I found her message more important about that. She's been interviewed lately and she's been talking about menopause. That to me was more important than talking about her film. I like her. I want to see her in films, but this was a film that she did that I was like, okay, it was cute, but can I recommend it? I don't know. TheForge is totally different, because this is I like to call it my Bible life. Here, this is wonderful. This was one of the things that the PR people put together. TheForge is more than just a movie. It's a movement. And they have a lot of these things from ministers from around the country that promote this. And then one of the ministers that I know, he goes by Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. We call him Speaker T. He says that he rents out a theater often to screen The War Room, Courageous, and other films that the Kendrick Brothers have done. But to see this particularly, I want to call it a good mixed cast. It wasn't strictly all black. It wasn't strictly an all black cast. It was fairly mixed. There's a big reveal that happens with the father and the mentor, played by Cameron Arnett, Joshua Moore. When you find out what him and his wife have gone through, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to cry again. I just finished crying in this scene. I don't want to cry in this next scene. So if you have not seen The Forge, I say please take a pause sometime this week, sometime this weekend, and go check it out, because I cannot say enough good things about this film. And if you are someone that have been thinking about, I've never really thought about this Jesus thing, or I've never thought about going to a church or anything like that, that's not my jam, or someone has put you off from going to church, you're like, there's a bunch of hypocrites that's there. Trust me, I understand the sentiment, but when you see a film like this, you're going to want to find a Bible-based church and go, oh, no, we need to figure this out. Mentorship, discipleship, it's all in there. And the Great Commission is all throughout. The message is all throughout. One of my favorite scenes, and this is, like, if you guys can see this movie poster, there you see a sword right there in the middle. If anyone knows Ephesians 6 that talks about the armor of God, the main character, Cameron Arnett as Joshua Moore, he has Isaiah hold out the sword. And he's giving scriptures, he's talking about Ephesians 6. But then you kind of see Isaiah's arm kind of shaking while he has this sword pointed. And I was like, I wonder why he's got him doing that. And then Joshua looks over at him. How are you doing with that sword, Isaiah? He's like, it's getting a little heavy. And then the other men that are there in the forge with him, they come to the sword, and they kind of put their hand underneath the sword to hold it up. And then Joshua asked him again, how is that? How is that feeling? He said, that feels a whole lot better. So you don't have to carry your burdens alone as someone that's a disciple of Christ or that is a Christian. And they even challenged saying the word Christian versus discipleship. And I was like, what? Really? So anyway, I really had a good time. And thank you so much that I see Tina, one of our former guests of Interludes Extra, The Truth. Really a good film. And like I said, I cannot say enough good things about the film. I can't say enough good things about the film. I cannot find the other clip that I wanted to show, but like I said, it is one of these films that I tell you guys, if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I cannot say enough good things about it. If you haven't seen War Room, I had another good friend mention this earlier when we were talking about it. War Room is kind of a good precursor to seeing The Forge. And of course, that's what it was. I couldn't upload the picture with Miss Clara, that's played by Karen Abercrombie. She is brilliant in both films, War Room as well as this, and she pretty much reprises her role as Miss Clara and prays for Isaiah and for the mom, and that would be Priscilla. Priscilla is brilliant in this. Priscilla Shriver. She's brilliant in this, of course. But like I said, really a good film, and I really wanted to just go ahead and encourage you guys to check it on out. Oh my goodness! Well, you know what? I got one more situation I want to talk to you guys about. This is cracking me up. We covered the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and Snoop Dogg came up often. Can you believe that I think NBC Universal paid Snoop Dogg millions of dollars to appear during the 2024 Paris Olympics? I had no clue. I mean, I was thinking, okay, he's showing up, he's being supportive and doing his thing, but did you all know the amount that he's being paid? He got paid $9 million to appear and to be interviewed, to crack jokes. He had a stylist. He kept changing his clothes. I think I never saw him in the same Olympic outfit ever. He was always changing, and so I don't. From a guy from Long Beach, I say you have come all the way up and did not have to rap not one time. Now, when the Olympics was over and we found out that the Olympics is going to be in Los Angeles, of course, him and Dre, they all appeared at the end of the Olympics and says, okay, we're welcoming the Olympic torch over to Los Angeles. But I have to say that that's like the biggest hustle. I don't know, but Snoop Dogg is continuing his domination. He's going to be over on NBC's The Voice. He'll be one of the judges. I don't know who left because that's such a revolving door. Every year there's new people that show up which is great. But like I said, congratulations to Snoop Dogg for coming up with he got paid $9 million. I'm totally cracking up over this. Man, oh man. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm telling you all, this has been a phenomenal episode of the Interludes podcast. Interludes Extra presents Talk on Tuesdays. I'm telling you, we have been producing so much, and we're so excited about the new season that's coming up for the Pull Up podcast with Coach Tony Thompson. You guys have been so supportive of that particular podcast and platform. It's just wonderful. But coming up September 9th, that's right, not next week, because next week is Labor Day weekend. We're taking some time off. But of course, the Pull Up Podcast show is coming back live in the chat September 9th. Coach has got some great guests that he has coming up, and of course, we're going to be doing a little bit more advertising. We're getting some more advertising dollars in to push the show, and of course, Tony loves what he does on the Pull Up Podcast. So of course, we're going to have some, and we have our fingers crossed to have some players from Chicago Sky on, as well as some more Tennessee Titan players. He just loves what he does. I do the background. I push the buttons. It's a fun thing. The Pull Up Podcast show is back live September 9th. And join us at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday, September 9th. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, my goodness. And then, of course, A DJ Saved My Life. It is the latest ebook from your girl, ValTheVoiceJohnson. It's a wonderful memoir of how podcasting and being a virtual DJ saved my life. I have to tell you all, it was a tough time in 2020, and trying to figure things out and still grieving the loss of my mom. But then I tapped into something I love to do, which is what I'm doing right now, which is streaming and podcasting. And I did that during the pandemic. And I also did a whole lot of virtual DJing, which I still do to this day. But those concepts and those things help me stay and be, I want to call it, very, very proactive. Of course, thank you so very much, Mr. Springer. Get yourself a copy of A DJ Saved My Life. We just really had a good time with putting this particular book together. Oh my goodness. And of course, Patreon. That is the Interludes Extra presents Find Your Voice at Patreon. Join our community via Patreon today at patreon.com/interludes. And like I said, we are really having a good time with that. And of course, the latest thing with Talk on Tuesdays, myself and Coach Tony will be back, not next week. We'll be back September 10th. Oh my goodness, that's right. It'll be a fun thing happening next week. It'll be a shorter version of things happening next week, but of course, I am going to be starting to stream the audio podcast on Wednesdays. That's going to be a fun time. And of course, one of the first things that's going to be streaming is my interview and conversation with J. Malane Wise, who is a tech coach as well as an author. And we were both mentored by Monique Lisa Johnson. He has a wonderful book out called Where. And so we kind of talk. I've been on his platform a couple of times, but this is, I think, his very first time being on mine. We're going to start that streaming. We're supposed to start tomorrow on the 28th. the 28th. But now we're kicking that off on my father's birthday, September 4th. That'll be the following Wednesday. So you guys check it out, and it'll be exciting. And like I said, I'm really happy that we are doing what we do here in Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. Join us in 2 weeks. We'll be here and having fun. Check out the film TheForge. Please do so. Please. I can't say it. I can't say it enough. And like I said, if you have not done so, hit the like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. And if you're viewing us on LinkedIn or on Twitch, hey, my Twitch folks, and on Instagram, go ahead and like the stream, of course, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up these hits and get on out of here. And of course, I don't have King Wise's book. Well, we will make sure that we will correct that for you in the chat. Thank you so very much for that. Please like and subscribe. And Mr. Springer, we'll see you in 2 weeks as well. This is Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays, guys. I'm out of here. Peace.